What's good guys, Tiger here, welcome to the channel. Today I've got a video that I'm really happy to be making considering I've completed all of the assault rifles. So today I thought I would go through all of the assault rifles and rate them worst to best while giving my best classes for those weapons as well. Now out of these 8 weapons and their placings, there's only 3 weapons that I am pretty confident. The rest could really get mixed up. So I'm confident with 1st, 2nd and 8th. But everything from 3rd to 7th really could get flipped around depending how I feel with those weapons on any given day. So coming in at 8th place, what I consider to be the worst assault rifle in Modern Warfare at the moment, and it is the FAL. The FAL is definitely the most improved weapon, and it got a serious buff to its recoil a few weeks ago now, what was really unfortunate considering when I had to level this weapon up, it was the pre-patch, and this weapon was horrible. It was definitely the worst. Now it's had a buff, and it's so much better. It still definitely is the worst. Considering this is the only semi-automatic sniper rifle, I feel its damage should be a lot higher, but it really isn't. Now, in the class that I was using to make this weapon gold, I did have the burst attachment, what was a perk attachment. Now that the recoil is a lot easier to control, I would say take off that burst attachment and instead replace it with a stock that gives you an ADS speed buff. Like I said, the FAL is a lot better now. You can get some good kills with it. It's very, very accurate, but it's just not that consistent. The fire rate is pretty nasty, and at really close range when you're hip firing, you can melt people, but it's just nowhere near as consistent as any other assault rifle. Okay, coming in at 7th place, and this one might be a little surprising to some of you, and it is the ODEN. The ODEN is a very, very good assault rifle. I enjoyed using it a lot, and it deals some serious damage. You can melt people very, very fast. The class that I used for the ODEN is I made this weapon as fast as possible. So I've got the ADS speed buffs as well as recoil control buffs. However, the biggest problem with this weapon is definitely the recoil. The recoil is very substantial, so if you did want to go for those medium to long range shots, you do have to fire 1 bullet at a time. And even though that is the case for a lot of these weapons on this list, I feel you can fire those weapons a lot faster than you can the ODEN. The ODEN is very good at those close to medium ranges, I feel. However, it's that recoil that really does put it low on this list. But don't get me wrong, it's a very good weapon. Coming in at 6th place is the Kilo. The Kilo was the first weapon I completed. It feels like a lifetime ago since I had this weapon in my hands. And I really enjoyed using this weapon, and it definitely has the best recoil out of every weapon on this list. And that is why I consider the Kilo to be the ICR of Modern Warfare. So for those of you that played Black Ops 4, you remember the ICR as the assault rifle that's really good at long ranges with very minimal recoil. Your Kilo is that weapon, and I like it a lot, and I'll definitely be using it in the future because I love that low recoil and its damage is decent. So the Kilo is a very, very strong weapon, but it does not do as much damage as other weapons. It's not as powerful, but it is super consistent, and that is why it is 6th on this list. Okay, coming in at 5th place, and I really didn't want to put this weapon so far down as it was the fastest weapon I was able to complete, and it is the AK-47. The AK-47 is definitely the most versatile weapon out of all of the assault rifles. You can turn this weapon into an LMG, an assault rifle, a submachine gun, anything. It really is a great weapon that you can transform into anything. The AK-47 class I was using is very, very strong and very good at those long distances. I did try and design my class for those medium to long ranges. It's very, very strong. Its submachine gun variant is also very, very powerful. If you haven't seen my video on the AK-47, it was my previous video. I suggest you go check it out. So I like the AK-47 a lot. Very good at all different ranges. but just not as consistent as some of these other weapons, and its recoil is still a bit of a problem. Coming in 4th place is the M13. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I said about weapons that can literally just be pushed up on this list if I have a few good games with it. Now, the M13 that I used this morning to get footage for this video, I went on an insane streak with it. It was so good. The M13 has one of the fastest fire rates for the assault rifle class. It's probably very, very close to the M4A1. They are both very similar weapons. The M4A1 though does deal more damage, but I feel the M13 probably has easier to control recoil, and I really like it. I think it's just really, really good. It kind of feels a bit like a submachine gun. I love the class that I have for it. It's one of the few weapons that looks okay with the platinum camo. The platinum camo really does stink at the moment. I really do hope they change it or give it a buff. One major concern I have about the platinum camo that I've noticed out of any other weapon is when the sun hits your gun at a certain angle, it's very blinding. So not only is it a disappointing camo to unlock that takes a very long time to unlock, but it can also severely impact your play when using it, so it really does need changing. However, the M13 is a very, very fun weapon to use. I really do recommend you using it. It's very good with a silencer as well. You can really customize this class. So if you haven't already, I suggest you go try it out. Okay, coming in 3rd place, and this weapon is an absolute beam machine, and it is the FAMAS, or the FR 5.56. This weapon can just one burst people really quickly, and that is why I love it. It's very good with a laser sight because you can hip fire people and kill them in one burst, what is awesome. You can get some disgusting kills where you can just flick your aimer, hit someone in the head or the chest and just destroy them. And you can have a lot of fun with the FAMAS in Modern Warfare. The only thing that is stopping it being a little higher on this list is the fact that because it's a burst fire weapon, it can be a little inconsistent. And if you do miss your first burst or a few shots don't connect, you are likely to lose your gunfight if you are in a 1v1 gunfight. The recoil is pretty easy to control, it's not that bad, it has very decent range. Not the best at those really long ranges because it is a burst fire weapon and it's not the kind of weapon you want to turn into a semi-automatic, so it's probably not the best at those really long ranges, but at medium to short range, this weapon is deadly. Okay, coming in 2nd place, and it is probably my favourite assault rifle, and it is the SCAR. The SCAR 17 was amazing to use, and I cannot wait to use this weapon again once I've unlocked Damascus camo, what is definitely going to be a very long time. Now this weapon is a heavy hitter. I do think it's better than the AK-47. It really does challenge first place. I reckon if the gun in first place got another nerf, what a lot of people want it to get, this weapon could go to first place. Now the SCAR does have recoil, but it absolute shreds at any range. Close, medium, and long range especially. I built this class for long range, and you can just destroy people in 1 to 2 shots. If you get a headshot, and they are already just a tiny bit damaged, you're only going to need 1 bullet, and it is just insane. I really do love this weapon, and I suggest you use the class for it as well, because it shreds. Okay, and coming in first place is the weapon we all knew would be in first place, and it's the M4A1. This weapon actually has been nerfed, so this was a very clear favourite at the start. Now I think it's very close to that SCAR class, but the M4 is just super consistent. At short to medium to long range, especially with the class that I have for it, what is different to what the pro players are using. Now, they obviously know more about this game than I do, but I do prefer my class. I do think it's better, but that's just my personal preference. This weapon is really good at aiming down sight really fast. Its recoil isn't too bad. It definitely doesn't have the best recoil control, but because it fires so fast and has such good damage, by the time this weapon starts to recoil, they are probably already dead. And the M4 is one of the most versatile weapons in the game. You really can customize this weapon to anything you want because it just deals insane damage. It's a very good all-round weapon, and that is why the M4A1 is at the top, undeniably the best assault rifle in the game right now. Okay guys, so that is it for today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed all of these classes, all of these weapons. I hope you're enjoying using them. The assault rifles are always the most popular guns in the game. I will be moving on to sniper rifles. After this, I am already on my way to completing the Dragunov, what is a pretty unusual weapon, very inconsistent, but nonetheless, let me know what you think of these classes. Do you agree with my list? If you don't agree with this list, let me know what you would change in the comment section. But that is it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, consider subscribing and turning on notifications to stay updated on all my latest content. But that's all from me. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.